happened since last week?
Since Friday. Have you worked on rebounding? Is that something that's been a focus this week, or?
What we've really been doing is trying to get ready for games and opponents, and trying to get the players to kind of understand certain principles. We've tried to get them on the same page. So we had another quiz, and did the quiz a little bit differently this time than we did the last time. And hopefully, in a very short period of time, everybody will be getting 100%, but we're not there yet.
What kind of questions are on the quiz?
Well, the quiz on Monday, we didn't practice yesterday, so the quiz on Monday was about hand signals. So this is the hand signal on the left. You write in the offense that it indicates we should run. So we have a lot of hand signals. So even one offensive set might have 3, 4, or 5 segments to it. So if I said loop, loop up, loop down, loop out, they all mean something else. So you got to know what the signal is for all of them.
It's like a driving test.
And then we've talked about Howard plays zone, and it's different than most zones. So we've had to kind of explain what they do and how they do it, and how then we want to attack it. And when you haven't faced it before, and you have all new guys, you're not trying to teach one guy or 3 guys or all your freshmen. You're teaching the whole team. And some guys understand it and some guys don't. And it doesn't work until everybody understands it, because you have to execute what you're looking for. And if one guy is in the wrong spot or does the wrong thing, it won't work.
Not the how you're going to attack it part, but I mean, can you talk a little bit what makes their zone different?
Yeah, their zone has a very strong emphasis on guarding the 3-point circle. So they'll have 1 player in the lane and 4 players lined up over the perimeter of the 3. So it looks very, very different to a player. Doesn't look like a typical 2-3, which it is. It's a 2-3 zone. But a 2-3 normally has, it looks like 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a middleman. This looks like it has 2 guards, 2 forwards, very, very wide, extended on the 3-point line, rather than inside the 3-point line. And I think it's just their point of emphasis is guard the 3.
How's Tanya doing, and do you expect him to play on Friday?
Oh, yeah. He practiced on Monday. He looked very good.
How do you keep them from, you have such a huge game against Florida, how do you keep everyone focused on Howard? Is it just because it's the first game of the season? And is that
well,
enough to
basically
motivate?
last year we played St. Francis of Brooklyn, and one of the things about being focused on the opponent, we're really, I said that, but we're really more focused on us right now. It's really more challenging to get your team all on the same page. And even though you're concerned about the opponent, you can't spend all your time just preparing for them, because you're still putting stuff in yourself. Once everything is in, then you can start focusing more on the opponent. But that doesn't happen until late December, early January.
We spoke to Manu and Angel. Can you talk about the combination of those 2 guards and what elements that brings dynamic that's different from last year?
Well, Angel is an experienced point guard. He has 2 years of college experience under his belt, and Manu has 1. Putting them in the game together gives us I think the best combination of ball handling and shooting we have, because they're both outstanding three-point shooters as well. Now the question is, will we be able to defend and rebound? And that we'll find out.
Defensively, last year was your first time using the zone. How has that helped prepare you for this year to adjust?
Well, we haven't spent nearly the amount of time playing or practicing our zone as we did last year in January and February. But last year at this time, we hadn't spent much time on our zone either, because we weren't planning to play zone. That was by necessity, not strategic. It became strategic when the man-to-man wasn't working nearly as well as we needed it to.
Hey Jim, what's your philosophy on playing teams like Florida on the road so early in the season? You know, is that a good thing to get your team focused quick? Or
Well, it wasn't. The issue was not about how early we were playing them. It was both programs looking for a very strong non-conference game and wanting that game to take place while the students were on campus. And there was a very long debate about whether or not we were going to be able to schedule the game, because they had some other issues that were a priority for them as to when we could play. And then next year it was a major priority for us that we got to play them when our students are here, and that became somewhat complicated. So scheduling is never easy. Eric Conkle does a fantastic job, and fortunately us and the Gators were able to find dates that work for both seasons and for both teams.
I don't think you answered my question, but I'll accept it. Do you like it? Do you like it this early? You know, do you like your game against number 7 on the road this early? You don't mind? Okay.
Would I prefer that we played 5 games or 8 games before we played them? I would say probably yes. But in order to get this game, we were willing to play them, no matter how early, met their need.
Thanks.
What are your thoughts on James Daniel and maybe some of the challenges he presents your team?
Well, James Daniel is the preseason player of the year in the MEAC conference. And we're very familiar with the MEAC because having coached at George Mason for so many years, we played a number of MEAC schools. And in fact, I think the last couple of times we played Howard, they gave us fits. I think, not Howard, I'm sorry, Hampton. And they gave us fits. And the coach, Kevin Nickelberry, was the coach of Hampton then. He's now the coach of Howard. So we're familiar with Coach Nickelberry and his style. We know they play a very aggressive zone. We know they come out and pressure the ball at the three-point line. We know they get a lot of steals. And we know they have the habit of fouling a lot. And I mean, like, a lot. So we've got to be prepared to be strong with the ball. They're going to be slapping at the ball, slapping at our arms, and we need to be sure that we hold on to it and draw fouls and not commit turnovers.
James in particular, offensively, thinks he does well.
James Daniel is a high-octane scorer. He can really shoot the three. He's very good in the open court. And it's going to be a major challenge for our guards. Angel Rodriguez will guard him. Manu LeConte will guard him. DeAndre Burnett will guard him. We'll have a lot of different guys assigned to him during the course of the game.
Getting back to Florida, that program in the last 20, 25, somewhere in that span, 20, 25 years, the way it has come up, is that, sort of parallel and because of the growth of the college basketball popularity in general, or do you see what has transpired there in that program to lead it into the space where it is now?
Well, I think there's a number of factors. Number one, they've had great basketball coaches. They hired Norm Sloan. They hired Lon Kruger. They hired Billy Donovan. So they've had a string, maybe not consecutively there, but a string of very good coaches who have elevated their program. At the same time, the NBA began in the state of Florida in a big way with the Orlando Magic and the Miami Heat. And I think kids in general growing up now had role models to emulate. And the NBA has a great influence on young kids. And so there's more and more interest in basketball in the state, and the high quality of coaches that they hired and the quality of the basketball program that they were able to produce, I think has put Florida in the top 10. They might be one of the top 10 winningest programs in the last decade. You know, I'm not sure who that would be. You know, you have
Probably pretty close.
Duke and Carolina and Louisville and Kentucky, Memphis, but Florida's got to be right there. Michigan State, Kansas. I don't know where UCLA would be over the last 10 years, but Arizona. So in the last 10 years, Florida has done very, very well with 2 national championships too.
Because they were playing in a high school gym in the 70s too, or at least it was like a high school gym.
I'm not that old, I don't.
How did you think Angel played? Do you think that
Oh,
was
good.
a glimpse of what we're going to see? Just
Yeah. I think
defense?
what you saw from him is how hard he plays all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pit bull on defense. He's going to come up with loose balls, and deflections, steals, and he distributes the ball very well. He finds the open man. He's a very willing passer. He's also a very good three-point shooter. He didn't make any threes the other night, but it's going to take him a while. Even though he's in very good shape and he's playing and practicing, he's rusty. He hasn't played in a lot of games.
Yeah, he said that today.
And you don't feel as comfortable and as confident in your shot, your ball handling, your decision making until you're doing it on a regular basis. You take time off or you're hurt or what have you, it takes a while to get back in sync. I think that's a band too, isn't it? In sync.
You said you weren't that old.
Is In Sync old?
No, 80s, I think, right?
They're pretty old.
They are?
Probably 80s.
Yeah, 80s.
Yeah, well, that was kind of around my youth.
You know, recent, yeah. Modern music.
Hey, do you sense the excitement on this team? You know, it's always special to sort of start the season. I mean, our kids just really a nice group of kids.
Yeah,
running around, jumping around.
I can't tell there's any difference than what I've seen every day. They're enjoyable to be around because they work hard every day. Now, we can work a whole lot harder. That's the whole thing about learning how to be good, is when you think you're working hard, there's another level you can get to. And I'm hoping one of the things that will happen is because even though we have a lot of new guys, we're a little bit older for a young team. You know, for a bunch of new guys, 9 new guys, this is Angel's 4th year in college, Sheldon's 4th year in college, Joe Thomas's 5th year in college, Tanya's 3rd year in college, Manu's 2nd year in college. So that starting unit has some age on them, experience on them that hopefully will be very, very helpful to show our younger guys who are coming in off the bench who don't have the years of college experience as to how hard you have to play.
Does it help the energy when you have like the UMU-FSU football game on the same weekend? Does it sort of energize the whole department or the basketball players?
Well, I definitely think the Florida State game is a focus point for our athletic department this weekend. And that there's a lot of energy on campus in anticipation of that game. And that normally there's a spin-off. And hopefully we'll see that on Friday night. You know, that the students will say, man, I'm fired up for the football game tomorrow night. What can I do? Hey, let's go over to the Buck and cheer on the men's basketball team.
Are you guys doing anything proactively to try to feed off that, piggyback off that?
There's a freshman picture at halftime. All freshmen on campus are going to take that picture. on the court.
Okay.
We're bringing in all the freshmen.
Get the freshmen in.
Bringing in all the troops. All the rookies are coming in. It's rookie night.
That's the way to get the students kind of more involved in the program for
Yeah.
years. We're just bringing in seniors.
Yeah, your first year, I think you did the Midnight Madness type
Yeah.
thing. Is there a reason you didn't do that again? Or?
Well, I was someone who agreed to do the Midnight Madness because I had been doing it for 15 years. But that's really not my department. It's the marketing team, and they kind of decide. And I don't know exactly what the decision was to do or not do Midnight Madness this year. Do you have any idea, Amy?
Well, I know back in the day there was torn ACLs like every year for 3 years in a row, and then Madness, that's why they canceled it back then. So I don't know if they just decided let's just not do it anymore. That was a while ago. That was under Hamilton days.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Well, Midnight Madness has changed dramatically. A lot of schools are not doing Midnight Madness because there's no official start date to practice. It used to be October 15th.
Yeah, that was it. That was the big night, and it was a big event, and
Then it became the Friday closest to October 15th because a lot of schools were having Midnight Madness on October 15th when it was like a Monday night, and the kids were showing up, and it was midnight and all that. It then changed to Friday night, and then it became, well, let's do it Friday night at 7 o'clock. It's not really Midnight Madness because the NCAA rule changed. It's not an official start date, October 15th. It's that Friday. Why can't you just do it Friday earlier? And that was the change. So for about 10 years or so at George Mason, we did it on a Friday night. We did it at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and it was done at 10. And the students came, really participated, really enjoyed it, but they didn't give up their Friday night. They went out at 10 o'clock afterwards to have a good time. So the first year here, I don't know if we did it on a Friday night or not.
I think we did a 7 o'clock Friday night, or 8 o'clock Friday night.
8 o'clock Friday night.
it was like a late game, but it wasn't midnight.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.